Hello, gamers. Today is, I guess, a bit of an experimental stream. I was just, reading Paradise Regained, as one does, the kind of much less famous sequel to Paradise Lost. And while I was reading, the book, I was thinking, it would be interesting if books had soundtracks. Video games have soundtracks, movies have soundtracks. Music obviously is itself a soundtrack. Musicals have soundtracks. I'm trying to think of other kinds of media right now. Sometimes art comes with soundtracks, but usually in that case the art is the soundtrack. Anyways, I thought it would be fun to try to set this public domain poem to some public domain music. For which case I will be using Kevin MacLeod, famous, I think, for making royalty-free music. I really don't want Twitch to get mad at me, so, I tried really hard to get music that's copyright-free and just to cover all my bases. Look, I'm displaying the license. It says that I'm free to share and copy and redistribute. I am giving appropriate credit. Thank you, Kevin MacLeod. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. I'm very grateful to you. Thank you, Kevin MacLeod Archive. Love that you've made this video with all of the songs on there. And without further ado, let's experience Milton's second best masterpiece to the tune of Sneaky Snitch. I, who erewhile the happy garden sung, by one man's disobedience lost, now sing, recovered paradise to all mankind, by one man's firm obedience fully tried, through all temptation, and the tempter foiled, and all his wiles defeated and repulsed, and Eden raised in the waste wilderness. Thou spirit, who ledst this glorious eremite, I think that means hermit, into the desert, his victorious field, against the spiritual foe, and brought'st him thence, by proof the undoubted Son of God inspired, as thou art wont, by prompted song else mute, and bear through height or depth of nature's bounds, with prosperous wing full sung, to tell of deeds, above heroic, though in secret done, and unrecorded left, through many an age, worthy to have not remained so long unsung. Now had the great proclaimer, with a voice more awful than the sound of trumpet, cried, repentance, and heaven's kingdom nigh at hand, to all baptized, to his great baptism flocked, with all the regions round, and with them came, from Nazareth the son of Joseph deemed, to the flood Jordan, came as then obscure, unmarked, unknown, but him the Baptist soon descried, divinely warned and witness bore, as to his worthier, and would have resigned to him his heavenly office, nor was long his witness unconfirmed on him baptized. Heaven opened, and in likeness of a dove, the Spirit descended. This is actually a thing that happens in the Bible. I can't pull up the reference for y'all right now, but yeah, the Spirit of God, heaven, comes down in the form of a bird. It's very cool. Doves are pigeons. At least I've heard that doves are also pigeons. Like they have this, they are the same species, which is, just imagine yourself surrounded by doves when you're in the city, when you're in New York sometimes, or other cities. We've got a music shift. Fluffing a duck. How appropriate! How appropriate now that we're talking about birds. Now let me just make sure that the sound is audible. Yeah, I think it's pretty audible. Okay. The Spirit descended, while the Father's voice from heaven pronounced him his beloved Son, that heard the adversary, who, roving still about the world at that assembly famed, would not be last, and with the voice divine, nigh thunderstruck, the exalted man, to whom such high a test was given a while surveyed, with wonder, then with envy fraught and rage, flies to his place nor rests but in midair, to council summons on his mighty peers, within thick clouds and dark tenfold involved, a gloomy consistory, and them amidst, with looks aghast and sad, he thus bespake, O ancient powers of air in this wide world, for much more willingly I'd mention air, this our old conquest, than remember hell, our hated habitation. Well ye know, how many ages as the years of men, this universe we have possessed and ruled, in manner at our will the affairs of earth, since Adam and his facile consort Eve lost paradise. That's a big reference to Paradise Lost. Milton is, name dropping here. Deceived by me, though since with dread attending when that fatal wound shall be inflicted by the seed of Eve upon my head, long the decrees of heaven delay, for longest time to him is short. And now too soon for us the circling hours, this dreaded time have compassed, wherein we must bide the stroke of that long-threatened wound, at least if so we can, and by the head, broken be not intended all our power, to be infringed our freedom and our being, in this fair empire won of earth and air. For this ill news I bring, the woman's seed, destined to this, is late of woman born. His birth to our just fear gave no small cause, but his growth now to youth's full flower displaying, all virtue, grace, and wisdom to achieve, things highest, greatest, multiplies my fear. Before him a great prophet to proclaim his coming, is sent harbinger, who all invites, and in the consecrated stream pretends to wash off sin, and fit them so, purified to receive him pure, or rather, to do him honor as their king. All come, and he himself among them was baptized, not thence to be more pure, but to receive the testimony of heaven, that who he is, thenceforth the nations may not doubt. I saw the prophet do him reverence on him rising, out of the water, heaven above the clouds, unfold her crystal doors, thence on his head a perfect dove descend, whatever it meant, and out of heaven the sovereign voice I heard, This is my son beloved, in him am pleased. His mother then is mortal, but his sire, he who obtains the monarchy of heaven, and what will he not do to advance his son? His first begot we know, and sore have felt, when his fierce thunder drove us to the deep. Who is we must learn, for man he seems, and all his lineaments, though in his face the glimpses of his father's glory shine. Ye see our danger on the utmost edge of hazard, which admits no long debate, but must with something sudden be opposed, not force, but well-couched fraud, well-woven snares, ere in the head of nations he appear, their leader and supreme on earth, aye, when no other durst so undertook, the dismal expedition to find out, and ruin Adam, and the exploit performed successfully, a calmer voyage now will waft me, and the way found prosperous once, induces best to hope of like success. Okay, what new song are we getting? Scheming Weasel! Alright. He ended, and his words impression left, of much amazement to the infernal crew, distracted and surprised with deep dismay at these sad tidings. But no time was then for long indulgence to their fears or grief. Unanimous they all commit the care and management of this man enterprise to him, their great dictator, whose attempt at first against mankind so well had thrived, in Adam's overthrow and led their march from hell's deep vaulted den to dwell in light, regents and potentates and kings, yet gods, of many a pleasant realm and province wide. So to the coast of Jordan he directs his easy steps girded with snaky wiles, where he might likeliest find this new declared, this man of men attested Son of God, temptation and all guile on him to try, so to subvert whom he suspected raised, to end his reign on earth so long enjoyed, but contrary, unmeeting he fulfilled the purposed counsel, preordained and fixed, of the Most High, who in full frequence ride, of angels, thus to Gabriel smiling spake. Gabriel, this day by proof thou shalt behold, thou and all angels conversant on earth, with men or men's affairs how I begin to verify that solemn message laid, on which I sent thee to the Virgin pure, in Galilee, that she should bear a son, great and renowned, and called the Son of God. Then toldst her, doubting how these things could be, to her a virgin, that on her should come the Holy Ghost, and the power of the highest overshadow her. This man born and now upgrown, to shew him worthy of his birth divine, and high prediction henceforth I expose to Satan, let him tempt, and now essay his utmost subtlety, because he boasts and vaunts of his great cunning to the thought of his apostasy. He might have learned less overweening, since he failed in job, whose constant perseverance overcame whatever his cruel malice could invent. He now shall know I can produce in man of female seed, far abler to resist all his solicitations, and at length all his vast force, and drive him back to hell, winning by conquest what the first men lost, by fallacy surprised. But first I mean to exercise him in the wilderness. There he shall first lay down the rudiments of his great warfare, ere I send him forth to conquer sin and death, the two grand foes. By humiliation and strong sufferance, his weakness shall overcome the satanic strength, and all the world and mass of sinful flesh, that all the angels and ethereal powers they now and then hereafter may discern for what consummate virtue I have chose this perfect man, by merit called my son, to earn salvation for the sons of men. So spake the eternal Father, and all heaven, admiring, stood a space. Then into hymns burst forth, and in celestial measures moved, circling the throne and singing, while the hand sung with a voice, and this the argument: victory and triumph to the Son of God, now entering his great duel, not of arms, but to vanquish by wisdom hellish wiles. The Father knows the Son, therefore secure, ventures his filial virtue, though untried, against whate'er may tempt, whate'er seduce, allure or terrify or undermine. Ye frustrate all ye stratagems of hell, and devilish machinations come to naught. So they in heaven their odes and vigils chant. Meanwhile the Son of God, who yet some days lodged in Bethabara, where John baptized, musing and much revolving in his breast, how best the mighty work he might begin, of Savior to mankind, of which way first published his godlike office now matured. One day forth walked alone, the Spirit leading, and his deep thoughts, the better to converse in solitude, till, far from track of men, thought following thought, and step by step led on, he entered now the bordering desert wild, and with dark shades and rocks environed round, his holy meditations thus pursued. Oh, what a multitude of thoughts at once awakened in me swarm, while I considered what from within I feel myself and hear, what from without comes often to my ears, ill sorting with my present state compared. When I was yet a child, no childish play to me was pleasing, all my mind was set, serious to learn and know, and thence to do what might be public good. Myself I thought born to that end, born to promote all truth, all righteous things. Therefore, above my years, the law of God I read and found it sweet, made it my whole delight, and in it grew to such perfection that ere yet my age had measured twice 6 years at our great feast, I went into the temple there to hear the teachers of our law and to propose what might improve my knowledge o'er their own, and was admired by all. Yet this not all to which my spirit aspired. Victorious deeds flamed in my heart, heroic acts run wild to rescue Israel from the Roman yoke, then to subdue and quell over all the earth brute violence and proud tyrannic power, till truth were freed and equity restored. Yet held it more humane, more heavenly first, by winning words to conquer willing hearts, and make persuasion do the work of fear. At least to try and teach the erring soul, not willfully misdoing, but unaware, misled the stubborn only to subdue. These growing thoughts my mother soon perceiving, by words at times cast forth, inly rejoiced, and said to me apart, High are thy thoughts, O son, but nourish them, and let them soar. To what height sacred virtue and true worth can raise them, though above example high? By matchless deeds express thy matchless sire, for know thou art no son of mortal man. Though men esteem thee low of parentage, thy father is the eternal king who rules all heaven and earth, angels and sons of men. A messenger from God foretold thy birth, conceived in thee a virgin he foretold. Thou shouldst be great and sit on David's throne, and of thy kingdom there should be no end. At thy nativity a glorious choir of angels in the fields of Bethlehem sung, to shepherds watching at their folds by night, and told them the Messiah now is born. Where they might see him, and to thee they came, directed to the manger where thou lay'st. For in the inn was left no better room, a star not seen before in heaven appearing, guided the wise men thither from the east, to honor thee with incense, myrrh, and gold, by whose bright course led on they found the place, affirming it thy star new graven in heaven, by which they knew thee King of Israel born. Just Simeon and prophetic Anna were. My vision found thee in the temple and spake before the altar and the vested priest, like things of thee to all that present stood. This having heart straight I again revolved, the law and prophets, searching what was writ concerning the Messiah to our scribes known partly, and soon found of whom they spake. I am this chiefly, that my way must lie through many a hard assay, even to the death, ere I the promised kingdom can attain, or work redemption for mankind, whose sins full weight must be transferred upon my head. Yet neither thus disheartened or dismayed. The time prefixed I waited, when behold, the Baptist, whose birth I oft had heard, nor knew by sight, now come who was to come before Messiah in his way prepare. I, as all others, to his baptism came, which I believed was from above, but he straight knew me, and with loudest voice proclaimed me him, for it was shown him so from heaven, me him, whose harbinger he was, and first refused on me his baptism to confer, as much as greater it was hardly won. But as I rose out of the laving stream, heaven opened her eternal doors, from whence the Spirit descended on me like a dove, and last the sum of all my Father's voice, audibly heard from heaven, pronounced me his beloved Son, in whom alone he was well pleased, by which I knew the time now full, that I no more should live obscure, but openly begin, as best becomes, the authority which I derived from heaven. And now by some strong motion I am led into this wilderness. To what intent? I learn not yet. Oh shit, I think the audio is not, let me just fix that. Okay. Yeah, right, I'll have to check this post-production. Anyways, where was I? The Spirit descended on me like a dove, and lasted some of all my fellows. We suddenly heard from heaven, pronounced me his beloved Son, and whom alone he was well pleased, by which I knew the time now full, that I no more should live obscure, but only begin his best becomes an authority which I divide from heaven. Let my son should learn into this wilderness to win it. Perhaps I need not know, for what concerns my knowledge God reveals. So spake our morning star, Then in his rise, and looking round on every side, beheld a pathless desert dusk with horrid shades. The way he came, not having marked return, was difficult by human steps untrod, and still on was led, but with such thoughts, accompanied of things past and to come, lodged in his breast, as well might recommend such solitude before choicest society. Full 40 days he passed, whether on hill sometimes, and none in shady vale, each night under the covert of some ancient oak, or cellar to defend him from the dew, or harbored in one cave, is not revealed, nor tasted human food, nor hunger felt, till those days ended, hungered then at last among wild beasts, they at his sight grew mild, nor sleeping him, nor waking harm, his walk, the fiery serpent fled, and noxious worm, the lion and fierce tiger glared aloof, but now an aged man in rural weeds. This is Satan, by the way, following as seeing the quest of some stray eye, or withered sticks together, which might serve against a winter's day when winds blow keen, to worm him wet return from field at eve. He saw approach, who first with curious eye perused him, then with words thus uttered spake, and now I'm going to take a water break. And sip, sip. Oh boy. We're not there. Oh, okay, we're almost done with the first book. I might have to take a break. It's getting a bit late. Blah blah blah, Agent Weeds, blah blah blah. Up. Yeah, what do we think about Satan? Is he cool? Is he not cool? Does he suck? He's in rural weeds, I think means just like ragged outfit. Like I don't think he's actually, maybe he is wearing weeds. I need to go look that up. But yeah, Satan, in disguise. I needed that water break. Okay, Satan talking. Sir, what ill chance hath brought thee to this place? So far from path or road of men who pass in troop or caravan, for single none durst ever who returned, and dropped not here. His carcass pined with hunger and with drought. I ask the rather and the more admire for that to me thou seemst the man who late our new baptizing prophet at the ford of Jordan, honored so, and called thee son of God. I saw and heard, for we sometimes who dwell this wild, constrained by want, come forth to town or village nighest as far. Where aught we hear and curious are to hear what happens new, fame also finds us out. To whom the Son of God, who brought me hither, will bring me hence, no other guide I seek. By miracle he may, replied the swain, what other way I see not. For we here live on tough roots and stubs, to thirst inured, more than the camel to drink go far, men to much misery and hardship born. But if thou be the Son of God, command that out of these hard stones be made thee bread. So shalt thou save thyself and us relieve, with food whereof we wretched seldom taste. He ended, and the Son of God replied, think'st thou such force and bread is it not written, for I discerned thee other than thou seemst. Yeah, Jesus is all like, oh man, I know you're Satan. Your disguise, I see through it. Lives not by bread only, but each word proceeding from the mouth of God, who fed our fathers here with manna in the mount. Moses was 40 days, nor eat nor drink, and 40 days Elijah without food wandered this barren waste. The same I now. Why dost thou then suggest to me distrust, knowing who I am, as I know who thou art? Who thus answered the arch-fiend, now undisguised, 'Tis true, I am that spirit unfortunate, who leagued with millions more in rash revolt, kept not my happy station, but was driven with them from bliss to the bottomless deep, yet to that hideous place, not so confined by rigor unconniving, but that oft, leaving my dolorous prison, I enjoy large liberty to round this globe of earth, or range in the air, nor from the heaven of heavens hath he excluded my resort. Sometimes I came among the sons of God, when he gave up into my hands a Zayn job, to prove him and illustrate his high worth. And when to all his angels he proposed to draw the proud King Ahab into fraud, That he might fall in raiment, they demurring, I undertook that office in the tons of all his flattering prophets glib with lies. To his destruction as I had in charge, for what he bids I do. Though I have lost much luster of my native brightness, lost to be beloved of God, I have not lost to love. At least contemplate and admire what I see excellent. In good or fair or virtuous, I should so have lost all sense. What can be then less in me than desire to see thee and approach thee, whom I know, declared the Son of God, to hear attent thy wisdom and behold thy godlike deeds? Men generally think me much a foe to all mankind. Why should I? They to me never did wrong or violence. By them I lost not what I lost, rather by them I gained what I have gained, and with them dwell co-partner in these regions of the world, if not disposer. Lend them off my aid, off my advice, my presages and signs and answers, oracles, portents, and dreams, whereby they may direct their future life. Envy, they say, excites me thus to gain companions of my misery and woe. At first, it may be, but long since with woe nearer acquired, now I feel by proof that fellowship and pain divides not smart, nor lightens aught each man's peculiar load. Small consolation then were man to join. This wounds me most, what can it less? That man fallen shall be restored, I nevermore. To whom our Saviour sternly thus replied, deservedly thou grievest, composed of lies, from the beginning and lies wilt end, who boast release from hell and leave to come into the heaven of heavens. Thou comest indeed as a poor miserable captive thrall comes to the place where he before had sat, among the prime in splendor, now deposed, ejected, emptied, gazed, unpitied, shunned, a spectacle of ruin or of scorn to all the host of heaven. The happy place imparts to thee no happiness, no joy, rather inflames thy torment, representing lost bliss, to thee no more communicable, so never more in hell than when in heaven, but thou art serviceable to heaven's. Both thou in future obedience, what thy fear extorts, or pleasure to do ill excites, what but thy malice hold thee to misdeem of righteous job, then cruelly to afflict him with all inflictions, but his patience won. The other service was thy chosen task, to be a liar in 400 mouths, for lying is thy sustenance, thy food. Yet thou pretendst to truth all oracles by fear given, and what confessed more true among the nations. That had been thy craft, by mixing somewhat true to vent more lies, but what have been thy answers, what but dark, ambiguous, and with double sense deluding, which they who asked have seldom understood, and not well understood, as good not known. Whoever by consulting at thy shrine returned the wiser or the more instruct, to fly or follow what concerned him most, and run not sooner to his fatal snare. For God hath justly given the nations up to thy delusions, justly since they fell idolatrous. But when his purpose is among them to declare his providence, to thee not known, whence hast thou then thy truth, but from him, or his angels president, in every province, who themselves disdaining to approach thy temples, give thee in command what to the smallest tittle thou shalt say to thy adorers. Thou with trembling fear, or like a fawning parasite, obey'st, then to thyself ascribes the truth foretold. But this thy glories shall be soon retrenched. No more shalt thou by oracling abuse the Gentiles. Henceforth oracles are ceased, and thou no more with pomp and sacrifice shall be inquired at Delphos or elsewhere, at least in vain, for they shall find thee mute. God hath now sent his living oracle into the world to teach his final will, and sends his spirit of truth henceforth to dwell in pious hearts, an inward oracle to all truth requisite for men to know. So spake our Saviour, but the subtle fiend, though inly stung with anger and disdain, dissembled in his answer smooth return. Okay, I'm just gonna take another water break. Reading poetry is hell on the throat. I'm also trying to speak up so that you can hear me over the music. It's like, to me, the music is very soft, but my software is telling me the music is quite loud, competing with my voice, so, I mean, I'm gonna find out when I upload this. Hehe. Sharply thou has insisted on rebuke, and urged me hard with doings with which not will, but misery hath wrested from me. Where easily canst thou find one miserable, and not enforced oft times to part from truth? If it may stand him more instead to lie, say and unsay, feign, flatter, or abjure. But thou art placed above me, thou art Lord. From thee I can and must submiss, endure, cheek or reproof, and glad to scape so quit. Hard are the ways of truth, and rough to walk, smooth on the tongue, discourse pleasing to the ear, and tunable as sylvan, pipe, or song. What wonder then, if I delight to hear her dictates from thy mouth? Most men admire virtue who follow not her lore. Permit me to hear thee when I come, since no man comes, and talk at least, though I despair to attain. Thy Father, who is holy, wise, and pure, suffers the hypocrite or atheist priest to tread his sacred courts and minister about his altar, handling holy things, praying or vowing, and vouchsafed his voice to Balaam reprobate, a prophet yet inspired. Disdain not such access to me. To whom our Saviour with an oath and road, thy coming hither, though I note thy scope, I bid not or forbid. Do as thou find'st permission from above, thou canst not more. He added not, and Satan bowing low, his grey dissimulation disappeared, into thin air diffused. For now began night with her sullen wing to double shade. The desert fowls in their clay nests were crouched, and now wild beasts came forth the woods to roam. And I, myself, I'm not sure if I'm going to end the stream there. I did not expect speaking so much to impact my throat that badly. I mean, I guess I also have been trying to talk louder than I usually talk, in order to compete with the audio, because I've had problems with the audio in the past, managing the audio, balancing the audio. This is not going to be a very coherent or cohesive video if I start gaming. Let's game a bit. Let me show you some more Darkest Dungeon 2. Let's jump right back into the good old gaming. I wanna show off the way that I do party composition in this game. Yeah, I don't know what subset of viewers are going to be like both into reading or listening to Paradise Regained and also like gaming Darkest Dungeon, but you know, I am a little fledgling. I've hatched from the egg. I'm out here to learn and grow. Thank you for accompanying me on my learning and growing journey as I navigate being a content creator. I'm grateful if you are still here, or also if you've only watched 2 minutes. I'm thankful for your consideration. Is this software not picking up on? There we go. Hell yeah! Welcome back to world of the dark world of Darkest Dungeon. Very dark, very serious. Yeah. Ayo, I know they got a new update out. Or I mean, they're gonna release it on May 8th. That's very exciting. Can't wait for my boy Flagellant. Love his entire design. He's like, he whips himself. It gives him power. He's like a masochist, but like, it's not just about like. Actually, I don't even know if he's horny or not. Everyone likes to joke that he's a masochist. Oh, well, he gets off on this. He gets off on whipping himself, but I think he is. I don't know what's up with him, but he gets strong from being beat up, and I respect that. I check my audio settings. I think I have to tune it down. Yeah, okay. Hope everything's good and audible.
Who will step forward into
Yeah, who's gonna step forward into the light? Let's if any of y'all are looking for how I structure my parties in Darkest Dungeon, let me elaborate to you my thought process. Maybe I should move my. Where should I move myself? Now? Okay, no. Here's fine, probably. So, whenever I'm trying to choose a party for Darkest Dungeon, I always think I gotta have a really good damage dealer. Usually, really good damage dealers have very bad health, so then I gotta think of like who's gonna protect my damage dealer. So those are the most important. Sometimes think about like who's gonna do debuffs, who's gonna do buffs, who's gonna, do things that aren't hitting people, who's gonna be a healer. But those are less important than choosing who is my main damage dealer, who is my main soaker of damage. So without further ado, let's go look at actually, even before I choose damage dealer and tank, I take a look at the quirks. All of these heroes, they're so quirky. Let's go look at their quirks. So Junia, she's really good at like finding things when she's in the pig, the not the pig, in the like in the faux tour. I don't even care if I'm pronouncing it wrong. The Photor is an area in the game. She's pretty good at knowing the place, huh? But she's a pacifist. Probably means we won't be using her for damage dealing, if we do end up using her. This guy's Shadowborn. I mean, it's okay, I guess. It's an okay buff. I tend to look at the good parts more than the bad parts because you can like pay the hospital money to get rid of like bad personality quirks. Whoa, imagine you could do that in real life. No, you can't. Or at least I don't think you can. Huh. This guy's sneaky, but he's obsessed with cults. Since a murder, but gets tuckered out. Plague Eater Slayer, but necrophobic. Dancer's balanced, but thin-blooded. Oh, Raconteur is good. Photomaniac, but doesn't do a lot of damage. Amateur weaponsmith, but pyrophobic. I got a trinket earlier, actually, that deals more blight damage. Blight is kind of like poison. So, gonna bring her, gonna make her specialize in alchemy. Is that good? Yeah, I guess that's good. Okay. Shouldn't have too many people with low health. Let's add someone with a lot of health. Murder. This one's fine.
Beneath bloodlust and fury.
Should have a really good damage dealer.
And shame.
Yeah. Yeah, this works. For yellow hand. Oh, right. We also need someone to manage stress. Stress can build up in this game, and it's pretty not great if someone's stressed. So let's go have someone who can make people not stressed anymore. Another high health? Yeah, sure. Another high healther.
A murderous melody lingers long after the final chord has been struck.
Kind of forgot what trinkets did I have. Oh yes, yes. This makes yeah, this is gonna double, I think, like the amount of blight. That's like a kind of damage over time thing. Yeah, that she can do. Let's go make him strong. Right, I'm starting to feel the sleepiness again, so guess I'm just gonna show first fight. Um and then I'm gonna head to bed. I need to stop doing streams so late at night. Ooh, we went too fast! I wanted to stop the cart, but okay. I guess we're just getting into it now. Good thing these are just baby enemies. You don't really have to worry about them too much.
Empowered, emboldened.
Oh hell yeah! Deal that damage. And watch that deal 7 blight damage over time because I got this cured. Ooh, it's only 25%. I guess it's pretty good. Yeah, the lady zombies do a lot of terror, which is you know, it's I mean, I could say a lot about how video game enemies are gendered, but that's for another stream. Maybe when I'm feeling a bit more academical. Uh, huh. Should have figured out my skills before jumping into this. But you know, this is just me winding down my stream.
A simple variable, easily resolved.
Looks like I got a good team going. You can usually tell how good your team's gonna be in Darkest Dungeon 2 based on how fast you can wipe out the first fight. You can get it done in 2 rounds. Your team's like solid, probably solid, good to go. You don't want fights to drag on too long in this game. Yeah, I really like Darkest Dungeon 2.
Push on to the end.
I think I mentioned it in my last video, but I've been playing this game for years. It's just, I find the roguelike games in general really get me hooked. I love the feeling when you stumble upon like a really good combination of traits, and like the game, you know, which is usually hard. I usually play hard roguelikes. Just suddenly, you know, melts and becomes easy. You know, it's like knowledge is power when you know how to like arrange your pieces. When you figure out how the game works, what kinds of items drop and where, you know, you're like, damn, I'm crushing this with my facts and logic,
Lower your
memories.
guard. Soften your gaze. It is safe here.
Okay, I am getting sleepy, so if you're here, thank you for watching my stream. Hope you all are having a great night or day, wherever you are. Thanks be to John Milton for writing poems and dying early enough so that they are in the public domain. That felt weird to say. I'm sorry, John Milton, that you died. I wish you were still alive so that you would know that one day your work would be read by an enemy girl to the tune of Kevin MacLeod. I think that's what you would have wanted, Milton. Good night, everyone. Good night.